Good morning. Quick one from me today because we've painted Indigo's room and we now have to get it all ready before she comes back at 3. First article for you is this one. Ukraine has bought 10 golden buses for $735,000 each. Very nice. I find this absolutely bizarre to be buying buses at this point in time. But there we are, that's what's happened. Donetsk city has been hit with cluster shells, according to residents. The Ukrainians have been bombing Donetsk for the last 9 years, so it's hardly new. But cluster ammunitions in towns and cities, yep, that's the sort of low that only the Ukrainians will reach towards. Well, and they're American sponsors. So great. Thanks for sending those west. I'm really happy to see this. Makes me feel really good about being a Westerner. Well done. There are rumours that the bridge here is under attack by underwater drones. This has been a source of re-equipping for the Ukrainian army, so it wouldn't be surprising, but it would be a kind of level up in this war if Russia is starting to attack bridges. The Pentagon has now come out as well and said that yes, Western equipment was stolen before it was sent, before it got to the front line when sent to Ukraine, and this is ending up all over Europe, Africa, Middle East, which is just great for world security. Thank you so much, guys. This was quite shocking for me. Ukraine is now the most mined country. I've been to Cambodia and I've been to Laos, and to think that it's more heavily mined than either of those countries is quite heartbreaking. This is a terrible thing. I would have the landmines banned instantly, and I would have countries who've had landmines put in them have serious repatriations to make those countries safe, having seen what they actually do to communities. This was an interesting one. The Ukrainian air defence against Odessa has become an increasingly serious problem. During the night, combined attacks on the port infrastructure of the Kiev regime, eyewitnesses observed the extremely unsuccessful operation of an air defence system. I don't know which type it is. At least 2 anti-aircraft missiles left the trajectory and hit the city itself. One of these missiles hit the Holy Transfiguration Cathedral, which is absolutely dreadful. That, old, beautiful infrastructure is being hit in this way. I feel really bad for Odessa. And yes, I think that the Western air defence systems are entirely flawed. I'd be terrified if they put one near me. But of course, we also have to remember that if the cities weren't being attacked, then there wouldn't be air defence systems. So, all round, a real shame here. This is fascinating. This is from the Wall Street Journal. I apologise. The West knew that Kiev would not have enough weapons for the offensive and believed in the resourcefulness of the armed forces of Ukraine. Now, it doesn't matter how resourceful you are if the other dude's got loads and loads and loads of artillery and weapons and bombs and tanks and you don't. This is just Western arrogance all over again, isn't it? You don't have enough, but we know that you can do it. And if you don't, then Tom Cruise will spill in at the end and save the day. I mean, it's just that we've done this to these people. It's one of the cruelest things I think I've ever seen in my life. Nearly half of Germany's soldiers fail a security check. Now, they've done a check on German soldiers to see whether they are usurpers or not, whether they've come in and lied in order to join the German army effectively, and almost half of them have failed the test. I'm sure not half of them are actually not real soldiers, but it's still quite funny. Ben Wallace, who is becoming one of the most hated men in the world before he leaves his job, has said that Ukraine has helped us get rid of old weapons. Please stop talking, Ben. Ben Wallace, please stop talking. Just shh, please. This is great for two reasons. One, Antony Blinken. If China failed to intervene in North Korea, US will take action, says Antony Blinken. I mean, that's a silly enough statement in itself. What on earth are you going to do, Antony Blinken, really? Like, you've given all of your weapons to Ukraine. You're trying to have a fight with China. Are you now going to have a fight with North Korea as well? Please, come on. And then it says this, top American diplomat, well, that's subjective, isn't it, warns that Beijing must help denuclearize that place, or else Washington will bolster its defense alliances with Seoul and Tokyo. Okay, I wonder how the people of Seoul feel about that, because last I saw, the South Koreans were actually pretty annoyed with America, given that their industry is failing rapidly because of the sanctions put on China. I'm not sure that you've got the friends over in Asia that you thought that you had, mister. More of a bottom than a top, I would say. This is classic. I love the photo. I love the wording. You ready? Look, that is the face of evil. Ex-commander of NATO forces in Europe offered to bomb Russian ships in the Black Sea. Retired US... It has to be the US, doesn't it? Retired US Navy Admiral James something believes that the NATO fleet is obligated to escort ships in the grain corridor. His words are reported by Foreign Policy. Why do people report these words? Like, don't. That's my advice to mainstream media. When men who look like that say things like that, don't report it. Just shh. What the hell? More empirical news is that Odessa was hit a lot last night. Lots of bombing. The Russians have advanced in a few directions again. You'll have to talk to Warren about which directions and where. Unfortunately, I didn't really get the chance to discuss Ukraine with him at length yesterday. And so I don't really know. And I don't really get involved in the military stuff. But I'm sure Warren will have put a post up about the bombings of Odessa and Nikolai. Because they have been hit massively the last couple of days. And as I've said, the reports that we are getting from locals is that these are air defence missiles that have attacked the city, as well as bombs. Just terrible all round. Much love to everyone, and let's hope for a quieter night for the residents this evening.